So you want to find a way to work from home, but you absolutely hate talking on the phone. Trust me, you are not alone. Maybe it's that you have kids at home or that you just prefer peace and quiet. Maybe you don't want to deal with those angry customer calls. So many work from home jobs that you can find online are call center jobs, and that's just not the kind of environment I know that I wanted when I was looking for work from home jobs myself. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the easiest no phone work from home jobs that you can do from the comfort of your own couch. And I'm going to show you how to actually start making real money working from home with these different jobs. If you haven't met me, I'm Abbey Ashley, founder of The Virtual Savvy, and I help people start their own at-home virtual assistant businesses. I started my own virtual assistant business when I was pregnant with my second child, and I had a 2-year-old running around, and I couldn't have a traditional job, but I wanted freedom, I wanted flexibility, and let's be honest, I wanted cash so that I could provide some stability, some income for my family. Now, over the years, I've built a community of over 150,000 other people who love this work from home lifestyle as well. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the bell so you're notified every time I release new content. Now, I'm going to break apart the different types of jobs that you can do that do not require a phone at all into 3 different categories. The first are going to be quick start, low barrier jobs. The next are going to be content creation jobs. And the last are going to be specialized services. So let's start out with those quick start, low barrier jobs. Now, I've trained over 7,000 individuals to work from home, to create their own freedom life. And one of the most common misconceptions that many of my students have is that they have to have some advanced degree or a certification or some really high level technical skills to start working from home for themselves, and that's simply not true. The reality is that small business owners need everyday tasks taken off their plate. These quick start tasks could be data entry, transcriptionist work, answering customer service emails, travel research and online booking, community management, scheduling social media posts, sending invoices or paying invoices, even something as simple as responding to social media comments. Here's the truth. Most small business owners are doing these things in their business already. They are the ones in there actually manually sending the invoice, or they're the one responding to every single comment. So simply by taking these everyday quick start tasks off of their plate, you're giving them back something very, very valuable. And that thing you're giving them is time. Time is a valuable asset to a business owner, and business owners are often willing to pay $25, $30, $35, even $40 or $45 per hour for you to take these tasks off of their plate. Now, there are tons of ways to find these different jobs, but the very best is by starting your own virtual assistant business. If you start a virtual assistant business, then you're essentially able to say, hey, I offer all of these services and I do so within hourly packages. This may look like a package of 20 hours for $600 a month. That would be $30 an hour. Or a package of 40 hours for $1,200 a month. Again, $30 an hour. Now, you would simply list all the services that you're able to do in this package include section. See where it says all the different services? You would list any type of admin, creative, or technical service that you're able to do inside of your packages. Now, what's so cool about this model is that when you sign a client, when you get someone to say yes, they're not just saying yes to $1,200, right? These are monthly recurring packages, which means that person isn't just paying you $1,200 one time. If they stay with you an entire year, which if you do great work, this is very, very normal in the VA industry, is for you to retain a client for that long, then that's over $14,000 with just one yes. This is why so many of my students are able to replace their full-time income with just 4 to 7 clients. It's what I love about virtual assistants. You don't need 100 orders on your TikTok shop. You don't need 100,000 views to start getting paid by Instagram. You literally just need 4 yeses, and that is huge. So these are some of the quick start, low barrier jobs. And again, around that $30 an hour range is often what I see people charging for these services. But what if you're more of a creative? Well, let's talk a little bit about those content creation jobs. Just diving a little bit more into my story, I started off as a general virtual assistant doing those quick start jobs. I was answering emails, I was organizing spreadsheets. I actually had a client that asked me to write for them. And even though I liked English when I was back in high school and a little bit of college, right? Even though I liked writing, I didn't really have experience as a writer, but I started learning how to do it. And eventually I was writing, blogging, writing full out sales pages, writing blogs, writing ebooks for my clients. With AI now, this is easier than ever to create amazing content in your client's voice, but we still need an actual human to input the data to make sure that AI is sounding like a real human, because let's face it, it doesn't if you don't train it well. So whether it's freelance writing, whether it is proofreading, editing, whether it's creating graphics, right? Creating graphics inside of Canva, creating sales pages, becoming a Pinterest manager, right? All of these services are more creative services, but small business owners need those services done inside of their business, and that's where you come in. Now, for these creative services, sometimes people will lump them in with their general admin, but I'm a big fan of eventually, once you've done general admin for a while, niching down to a service like this, because as opposed to charging $30 an hour, let's say you have a Pinterest package that is $600 a month, but it only takes you 10 hours for the month. Now you're getting paid $60 an hour. And that's where eventually moving to package-based pricing can really, really be an advantage. And then lastly, let's talk about specialized services, because some of you guys are coming in with some background, with a specialty. Maybe you have a background in bookkeeping or accounting. Maybe you've worked for years and years in the real estate industry and you really know what that industry needs. People say the riches are in the niches, and the reason why they say that is because if you niche down to a very specific service or a really specific industry, you can charge more. Now, I will put out this disclaimer. If you don't have years of experience, or if you don't have a lot of relationships with a certain niche, I wouldn't worry about niching down. In fact, most of my VAs start off as general VAs. They get just any small business owner client who will hire them. And then, as I say, you don't find your niche finds you. Over time, they start working with a client and say, oh, I love doing this. Or they start working in a certain industry and then they get more and more referrals for that industry. So don't stress out too much about niching down from day one. For virtual assistants, I recommend that you actually stay pretty general, stay pretty broad, just do those hourly packages. And then over time, you're gonna realize, oh, this is my specialty. This is my niche. These are the people I love working with. So we made it about midway through this video. I wanna know in the comments below, what types of services are you thinking about offering? What type of no phone work from home job are you going to create for yourself? Let me know in the comments. Now, if you've decided, yes, Abby, I want to do this, what are the next steps? I'm going to go ahead and break down how you can actually start a virtual assistant business in just a few simple steps. Step number one is to choose your services, and we've already talked about that, haven't we? You probably already have some ideas popping off in your head. If you don't, I would recommend that you start with the SavvyCore 5. Here's what the SavvyCore 5 services are: email management, calendar management, data organization, customer service, and social media scheduling. These 5 jobs almost any person can do, and small business owners are really, really needing those services. So go ahead and just start with the SavvyCore 5 if you don't have any further experience, because you are going to learn as you go. Now, the next step would be to set up the pricing and packaging. And like I mentioned earlier, that $30 an hour rate is perfect to start at. And you can use these packages that I'm going to put on the screen again for you. Just go ahead, literally take these packages, drop in your services where it says services on the page. Now, step number 3 is that you're going to want to block off time to commit to this business. There's a difference between devoted time and distracted time, and you guys all know what I'm talking about. Distracted time is when you're kind of on your computer, kind of watching a show, or you're really trying to work, but you have that 5-year-old tugging on your shirt asking for juice. Trust me, I've been there. I recommend that you have at least 5 hours of devoted time for your business, and that means that it is time that you are able to get deep work done. So yes, if you are that mom with the 5-year-old tugging on your shirt, you may have to ask for babysitting help one night a week, right? Mother-in-law, come over, I need your help. Or maybe you do a swap where, hey, I'll watch your kids on Tuesday, you watch my kids on Wednesdays with a friend. How are you going to carve out dedicated time to spend on your business? I recommend at least 5 hours, but the more you're able to commit, the faster you're going to see results. Step number 4 is to choose your business name. And this is a fun activity that we walk with our students that we work with personally through. You're going to want a name that is simple. You don't need to overthink it. ChatGPT can help you with this, but whatever your name ends up being, a few things that you're going to want to make sure to do. Number one, you want to make sure that that name is not already trademarked. You can check the USTPO website. I will link to that down below, and make sure that it is not already a trademark name. And you also want to check the social availability and the domain name. You don't have to have a .com. I love .coms. I still try to get a .com, but a .co is fine as well. And just a little hack sometimes if you really love a name. So let's say I chose Virtually Abbey, right? Or something like that, and that wasn't available. I could always try like The Virtual Abbey or virtualabbeyco.com. So a couple variations to try and find the name that actually has a domain available. Sometimes you're going to find domains that are like thousands and thousands of dollars. Please do not spend thousands of dollars for a domain. It is not worth it. I promise you can be successful without that big shiny domain name that you really, really want. I never spend more than $11 or $12 a year on my domains. All right, step number 5 is to set up your client processes. When someone wants to work with you, what are the next steps? Well, first you're going to do a discovery call. So you're going to want to have that prepared. Is there a Zoom link that you're going to have? Are you going to meet with them in person over coffee? What kind of questions are you going to ask them? You want to go ahead and have that planned before you start getting out there and marketing. You want to go ahead and have these processes in place. The same thing with if a client says, yes, I want to work with you. You want to have a contract in place. You want to have an invoicing system in place and a project management system in place so that you're able to actually take on their tasks, manage them well, and actually bill them for their services. Step number 6, I mentioned this briefly in step number 5, but you do want to have a contract. Please, please never work with a client, even if it's a friend, even if it's family, without a contract. I promise you, it is there to protect you. It's there to protect your clients. And so you always want to have a contract. Don't use a ChatGPT contract. Use one that was actually written by an attorney for your business. If you don't have one, I will link to ours down below, but just please use a contract when you are working with clients. And then step number 7 is to start marketing. And I love this step because it's all about getting out there. It's all about telling people about your business. And if you're interested in working with my team directly, we work with students to launch their virtual assistant business and land their first client in 90 days. That's what we do. Again, 7,000 students have gone through our program. I've been teaching this for over a decade. We know what works and we know how to get you fast results. Not only are you getting that contract we talked about, but all of the templates, all of the processes. We walk you through how to market so you can start landing clients quickly. If you want to check out more about the Savvy System Accelerator, go to thesavvysystem.com. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one.